All right, we are joined by Maryland head coach John Tillman and student athletes Colin Burlace and Luke Wierman. This is going to be Maryland's 16th NCAA championship game appearance. We're going to start with an opening statement from Coach. We'll then follow that with questions for the student athletes. On first question, please state your name and your affiliation. We'll dismiss the student athletes, and then we'll open it up to questions for Coach. Coach?
Yeah, obviously very proud of our group. I thought they had a great week of preparation. The players, everybody, whether they played today or not, just got great efforts. And the coaches, Jesse's defensive game plan I thought was great. These guys executed it extremely well. And then offensively, just to get off to such a good start, I felt like Luke did a tremendous job at the X getting us possessions, but then we were able to capitalize on some of those, whereas a week ago we got possessions and we had so many turnovers, and I thought we were just better. We weren't great, but we were better. So a credit to them. Obviously, hats off to Lars and his staff. They do an awesome job, super talented. Obviously, one of the great programs in the country, so an honor to play them, and obviously just excited to have a chance on Memorial Day to take this thing to the end.
Thanks, Coach. Questions for the student athletes? We'll start right here and then there.
Hey, Luke, Gene Wong with the Washington Post. You won the first 5 faceoffs in a row. Can you just kind of tell us how that kind of sparked maybe your afternoon and gave you guys extra possessions you were able to capitalize on?
Yeah, I thought the game plan was very well executed in the beginning. I thought we had a good game plan, and we just kind of stuck to that. I think, with the offense scoring, like Coach said, and capitalizing on those opportunities definitely helps that. Gives confidence to the whole team, confidence in myself and our wings and the chemistry that we had kind of building. And I think we just stuck to that game plan that we were working on all week. So.
Colin, Patrick Stevens for Lacrosse Magazine. You guys had some problems with them, particularly in their midfield the first time around. How did you manage to flip things this time around and kind of short-circuit their offense the way you guys did?
A lot of what we've been focusing on, what our game plan's been, is to get them to 6-on-6. And, they're a team that excels in the uneven or 5-on-5 situations, and that's what they look for. So it was Coach Tillman implementing a new ride that helped us get them to 6-on-6 and that kind of stuff. So I think as soon as we were able to do that, we were able to immediately find more success in getting stops and stacking stops.
Yeah, Luke, Max Schaefer with the Pseudo-Times over here. This is obviously your 3rd national championship game with Coach Tillman. How much confidence does it give you to play under him and when it gets to postseason and the final games of the year?
Yeah, obviously a lot of confidence for sure. He's been doing it for a long time, and we just trust him so much. He trusts us, and I think that's a big part of it all. He always says I've been doing it for a really, really long time. Likes to make jokes about it, but obviously he has, and he's had a lot of success, and we just, stick to his game plan. We're confident in that and makes ourselves confident.
Colin, Brandon Schwartzberg, Diamondback. When Ajax really shuts down the opposing number one as much and as well as he does, how much does that kind of open up and free the rest of the defense to kind of just to be yourselves, just really simple it out for you guys?
Ajax is incredible. We have the utmost confidence in him to win his matchup and do his job, which allows us to kind of do our own thing and not worry about that as much. And being able to take a player like Connor Schellenberger and kind of put him on an island with Ajax. Schellenberger's going to get his every now and then, but we trust Ajax to continue to do that, and it allows our defense to succeed and puts us in a great spot. So he's amazing.
Right here.
Paul Snyder, the Montauk Sun. This is for Luke and Colin. Great defensive effort today. 2 quarters, they only scored 1 goal. The other 2 quarters, they scored 2 goals. They scored 14 goals against you 2 months ago. You shut down Schultz. He had 4 points, 2 assists. So I want to turn the page to Monday, all right? Will Lynch had a great game at X today. And Monday's going to be, going to be a slog, I think. It might be raining. So in that game, your defense was fantastic today. And when you go up against Notre Dame, they gave us this sheet. And it says on here that Notre Dame, this is the 7th time this season they've handed an opponent its worst loss of the season by goal margin. They're on a 13-game consecutive winning streak, their longest since 2009. This team is on fire. And I just wanted to ask you two guys, what's the game plan for Monday?
I think that's a question for somebody else up here. But
We're not allowed to ask
yeah.
questions until you guys leave. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to,
The game plan is to stick to his game plan. That's the game plan for us.
And then go to Chipotle or Maggiano's or something.
Yeah, but they're a hot team. They have a lot of great players, all Americans scattered throughout their roster. The question from earlier, like we all trust each other, focusing on sticking together as a team no matter what happens, and just having that trust in each other goes a long way.
We'll go here and then up front.
Colin, Dan Arestia from Sticks and Lacrosse. UVA took 37 shots today, only put 17 on net. How, as a defensive group, were you able to disrupt their shooters enough to force that many, I guess, poor shots or off-cage shots?
I think it all goes back to this week in practice. Our scout guys gave us a fantastic look of all of their guys and their looks, so we were able to go in with kind of a feeling of or a sense of we've already seen this before. So it wasn't like going out there and it's the first time you've seen a look, which is huge for us and allows us to be successful. Along with that, as I said earlier, we have guys like Ajax. We trust everyone. Everyone did their job today, and we don't ask anyone to do too much, and that's what helps us win.
Colin, Kevin Brown for Inside Lacrosse. Just a couple questions. First, the Schellenberger opens up the game with that backhander over Ajax. Just what's the defensive huddle like after that? What are you guys saying to Ajax, and what is he coming into the defensive huddle saying?
As I said earlier, we have so much faith in Ajax because of he's proven he can do over the past 4 years. But at the same time, I just mentioned that Schellenberger he's an incredible player. He's going to score goals. He's going to get assists, and that doesn't change our game plan. Jesse put in a great game plan, so we're going to stick with that no matter what happens. If he gets 1 or 2, great. Let him get 3 and 4 before we change up and switch that up. So we have a ton of faith in him, and he's the leader of our defense, and he's been killing it all year. So nothing's going to change there.
And you mentioned just wanting to keep them 6-on-6. You had a couple transition plays today, just 2 points. Just what went into that? Did you feel an extra oomph getting upfield today?
Extra oomph, maybe. Guess so. No, I was just in the right place at the right time. I scored a goal, but credit goes to, I think it was Colin Sharkey. He put the ball on the ground and threw an incredible check and allowed me to pick up the ground ball for a clean 4v3. That was awesome. And obviously the second one, Eric Spanos made one heck of a catch. It was not my best pass, but it's a team effort, and it was far from just me doing anything. So I think that's it.
We'll go here and here, and that'll be it for the players.
David Melandro, Sports Talk Philly. What was said at halftime to let you guys come out in the second half and shut down Virginia?
Kind of just what we were saying was just we kind of looked back to some of the games we had this season, especially a couple of weeks ago against Princeton. We didn't start that second half very well, and we were just reiterating that to the guys in the locker room and on the field, just saying, we can't start slow especially against a team like this, with the firepower they have. So just focusing on just pedal to the metal, stick together, stick to the game plan. We're going to start getting tired. It was hot out there today, and especially this time of the year, your teams are run down, and just playing through that tiredness, making a smart play. That was really kind of our focus.
Luke, I'll ask you because you're the senior. After the 2 games, if we can call them games, against Hopkins and Penn State in Columbus, what happened? What changed? What was the message from the coaching staff and from the team leaders that allowed this insane turnaround that you've had?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was one thing that changed or one message that changed this team. We just knew that we needed to keep working, and it was not going to just happen overnight. That was really the message that we focused on, was just it's not going to happen overnight. New guys in new spots. We lost a lot of guys over the last couple of years. We just needed to keep chipping away at things, and really sticking together. Earlier in the season against Penn State, we were down big at their place, and we stuck together and came back and kind of found that identity. And coaches have been putting us in great spots. That's really what it is. And our scout team during the week, just what they come out and do every week and what they execute, that's a massive part of it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you.
Questions for Coach? Start with Patrick up here.
Two things for you, John. One, When you're facing a team like that that thrives in transition, does getting the goal that you got at the end of the half, where you got a pole goal, does that almost feel like 2 goals for you?
I just think anytime you get, everybody loves Colin, and, when you get a goal from somebody that's a little unlikely, it does go a long way, especially a defensive type guy. So that was definitely a lift because, to get that and then go into the half, right, you're up 4 now, and that just, again, in a game like that, just changes your mindset just a tad. At halftime, really, we just went back in and said they're going to dial up the pressure. We might see Noons, and I think we tried to figure out who was going to play. The way they rode last week was very different than what they had done all year. So we weren't sure whether that was specific to Hopkins or that was based on the goalie. So we can live scout. So I went up on Sunday, and the biggest thing I tried to do, I sat way up. No one wanted to sit by me anyway, but just sitting up and trying to figure out what is going on in the back end, because a lot of times on the films you get to scout, you only get half the field, and they played more quarters back there, where a lot of the other games they were playing man-to-man, and I couldn't tell if that was because Nunes wasn't in, or if that was just something they did to Hopkins, because they rode incredibly well. But if you look at the other games, it was different from what I could see. And again, you can't see everything in the back. So we had to have a number of plans based on which goalie, because we thought the rides would change. So we had a number of things, and the kids did a really good job of it. We dialed back on a lot of the banging this week, the one-on-ones and the 4-on-4s and 5-5s, but did more full field. We did not do a great job against a 10-man last time. We did not do a good job getting back, the subbing, things like that. So most of the week was really, it's kind of the unscripted lacrosse. And I thought we did a great job. The guys followed the plan. We really tried to platoon guys and not get offensive guys caught. And they crushed us on that. They crushed a lot of teams. And when they get to 5v5 or 4v4, they do such a good job. We butchered one, the ball went out, and we ran 2 guys off, and then we gave them a quick 6-on-4. And Chismar got credit to them. But for the most part, I thought our guys got back, and it was all about get to 6-on-6, get to 6-on-6, get to 6-on-6. And still, you have to defend a great group. Obviously, Kevin does a great job with the offense, and they're still going to put 6 great players out there. But when they reduce it and they have more space, and they you have offensive guys or face-off guys caught, it does make it hard. They do such a good job.
And just to kind of build off that a little bit, like getting your guys into 6-on-6, that's clearly how you guys are most comfortable playing. Were you kind of selling that this week? It's just we need to be buttoned up that way, and then things can go a little better than the last time.
Big time. Some of the goals they got last time, again, give them credit. It's kind of what they do. We had, Luke caught on defense one time, and the ball, we had a slide, and then the ball gets thrown inside, and their face-off guy just picks it up and scores. And, Luke's not really in that spot a lot. And one time, I think Urksa was in there. We slid, and they got another one. We failed a couple clears last time. We just didn't set up right. And part of that was a byproduct of they were playing the 5v5, and then we got a stop, and then we just didn't line up right. So then we fail a clear, and then they come back, and now they kind of grind you down. Not only are they going to get a second chance, but maybe unsettled. And they did such a good job. Give them a lot of credit. Obviously their attack rides, 39 is awesome. He is so disruptive. And they're just different, so you have to, I think the second time certainly helped us. Just the kids had a reference point, so it wasn't like we were doing it from scratch.
We'll go over here and then there.
Coach Tillman, Safe Fakadu, the Cross Commission at College Cross. Congratulations on the win and a tremendous season. 2 questions, sorry. Aside from Notre Dame's ride and the Kavanaugh brothers, what most concerns you about the Monday's matchup? And you've obviously had a tremendous run of success at Maryland. What makes this unit different than your other tournament and Memorial Day Monday teams?
I'll go back to front. Each team is different. Each team is special. To me, especially having done this for a while, to me, it's all about the journey. It really is. You start in August, and you have this brand new journey that you go on, and then there's so many things that happen on a daily basis that some are lacrosse oriented, some are not, and you get these wide-eyed freshmen, and then by the end of the year, you see a lot of growth and maturity on and off the field. And you go through a lot of ups and downs. We play a great schedule. We play so many good teams, and we've had some bad moments, and I'll own that. And obviously, that's my responsibility. At times, we have not played well, but we've owned it. We've always tried to go back and try to improve. We try to stick together, and I think that's the thing that I think is most rewarding is. Like, these guys didn't point the finger. Everybody stuck together. Everybody kept believing. And to me, that's what they need to know going forward in their lives. Like, they're going to deal with bigger challenges, more adversity. And, like, these experiences hopefully get them ready because they're going to be dads and they're going to be husbands and they have to figure stuff out. And when things don't go well, you have no choice. Like, you have to kind of figure out, like, what can we do, what can we control, and how do we make the most of this situation. So those are things that I really appreciate from being an educator is it does mirror life. And again, these guys have handled it well. And again, we just kind of stuck together, and some of those moments were bad. And then Notre Dame, I don't have enough time to throw all of the compliments I could because they're so good everywhere. Everything is good. Like, they have the best goalie in the country, arguably, right? He's, finalist for the Tewaaraton. They have a great face-off guy. Their defense is tremendous. Their short sticks are great. They push the ball in transition. They play 3 midfields, and their third midfield scored today. They scored a lot in the ACC tournament. Rarely can you see a third midfield, and they are really, really productive, and the first 2 are tremendous. And obviously their attack is amazing. The Kavanaughs, just the way they play with so much passion and energy. They're competitive. They're unselfish. And again, they're well coached. Coach Corrigan, been doing it a long time. He is awesome, and his staff is great. They have like just a staff that complements each other, and they all have a lot of experience. So they don't beat themselves. We're going to have to put a lot of time in over the next 2 days to try to get ready. We'll try to put together a plan, but we know how good they are. They've been the best team all year, and obviously they were the best team last year. So we just got to kind of look at ourselves and look at them and figure out what can we do to put ourselves in the best position to win, recover, hydrate, and start our prep, and just make sure we're doing everything we can to put the team in a position to win. But I want these kids to enjoy the moments we have, because we only have 2 days left. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday, guys are going to start leaving. So they need to appreciate the moment, still be hungry, but also realize, like, it's all going to be done soon. So make the most of this time together.
Coach, you guys have obviously been on a very good run through these last few games. It's also a very clean run. You haven't been called for a penalty since the third quarter of the Princeton game. Has there been a point of emphasis for you guys that we have to play mistake-free, penalty-free lacrosse? And what's kind of enabled you to, against very good offensive teams, play such clean lacrosse?
We've been decent this year. We had a few early. We had a couple, the cross checks where I think against Syracuse we had 2 2-minute penalties. We do practice some of those things just to avoid, leading with your hands and cross-checking. Jesse Bernhardt does an awesome job with our defense. Just in terms of the fundamentals, and if you ever watch Jesse play now, he's not a big checker. He neutralizes guys. It's really about just, staying in front of your guy, checking when you need to, but not beating yourself. So there's a big emphasis on, listen, let's play clean. Let's not beat ourselves. Let's not be reckless and be detail-oriented. And so Jesse deserves a lot of credit, but also our offensive guys, because the last time we played them, they got 2-man-up goals. One offensive guy got a push and they scored, and then Luke got one and they scored. So it's everybody. But even in that game, you can't, like, non-defensive guys shouldn't be getting penalties, and the guys just been more disciplined with it. I think the guys also realize, listen, when we haven't played well, we've not been clean, and we've been undisciplined. So let's just stay disciplined, do the right things, don't go for that home run check, and hopefully, if we could give Logan a good shot, maybe good things can happen.
To our final 2 over here and here.
Wayne Viner, Trip Talk. You deflect credit unlike anybody I've ever seen. Everything you say, it's the assistants, it's the players, it's everybody, and I love the way you do that. But at the end of today, when everybody left the field, many of your former players, their parents, their families were chanting your name, and you came over and gave them some high fives. What does that mean to you, how this program loves you?
Well, I love those guys. You know, again, to me, the relationships are everything. These guys, you get them for 4 years, but you're preparing them for 40. But man, these guys, just being with them keeps me young. Sometimes makes me feel a little old, depending on how bad we play or maybe a bad practice or something like that. But I'm fortunate to coach at a place like Maryland, and I don't take that for granted. Obviously there's a great responsibility, so I do my very best to just kind of give everything I can every day, and obviously that's really important to me. But I also, have great assistants. I have a great support staff. Sean is here. It's really important at Maryland, so we get a lot of support. We get support from our alums, and it means a lot to our state, so that's not lost on me. So again, we have so many good people that are pulling all in the right direction. That gives you a chance. But those guys, man, they're awesome. To see Matty Rambo and all those guys here, to see them being successful, and doing great things and making an impact on their communities and just having success. It's awesome. It's why you get into coaching and teaching.
Last one.
John, what's the impact of Luke winning the first 5 faceoffs, especially after Colin scores a minute into the game, and then also what he did overall to help you set up opportunities the rest of the way?
Sure. Sorry, I got some sweat in my eyes, so I'm trying to that and some sunblock too. Yeah, like getting that first face-off win, it's like, okay, good. When we didn't, maybe get off to the greatest start at first, but with Luke, like knowing that, all right, this feels good. It gives you a lot of confidence, and he seemed to be locked in and ready to go. So offensively, I think it gives us definitely some confidence. Luke is awesome, and I think the last game, they did a great job of tying him up, and at times just not letting him get out, being physical, the wings getting involved. And I don't think, if you ask Luke, he definitely didn't have his best game. So I do think he was really focused. I think last time he lost his poise a little bit. He got frustrated. That led to the penalty. And partly just because he wants to help the team and he knows that, he's a leader for us. And he still played pretty well. But I know for him, like, his level is really high. So I think he was dialed in. He was ready to go. Tim Obransky works with our faceoff guys. He does a great job. But the other 3 guys, Shea Keithler, Mitch Lloyd, and Sean Creeder, they just compete so hard every day in practice. They give Luke the looks of the guys that he's going against. They are huge for us. They just do an awesome job getting Luke ready. I think Luke would tell you the same thing.
All right, thanks, Coach. We'll see you on Monday.
Thanks.